either.
Do you think we could show that video of how sarin works? Or because animals died, that wouldn't be allowed on YouTube? They're just going to sleep, YouTube.
Isn't it on YouTube?
Yes, it is on YouTube. All right, I'm getting it.
This is the U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
I actually have a whole playlist on there for Sarin.
I did see that actually.
Targets included.
So this for anybody
Okay,
that was watching, right?
We're about to show animals dying horrific deaths.
Yes.
So
yes.
warning.
Be warned. But when we were explaining about how sarin dissipates and how it's a vapor, not a gas, so on and so forth, this is the video that will explain why, and this will be the last video.
A sandbag machine gun position. A two-man covered foxhole.
This is what you watch us for.
A hasty
If you subscribe to the Patreon, you can watch people die with us.
I mean, it's not really what we're doing. We're talking about like actual fucking history and stuff in these fucking massacres and stuff.
Yeah,
and how it's like it's propaganda from these massacres from multiple perspectives and stuff, but it's not shit you can show.
No, so
there's another one they do outside with a goat on a leash. That's like it's literally about atropine and shit, and like how to treat people in the battlefield with sarin and stuff. So a lot of propaganda videos about sarin during the Cold War.
And a concrete command post bunker. Almost 4,000 yards away, a battery.
Wait, it is past midnight in America, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, happy 4th of July.
155 millimeter howitzers prepared to fire standard GB-filled shells at the target complex.
Fortified bunkers.
Yeah, fortified concrete bunkers.
On command, all 6 pieces were fired. The visible cloud is burnt powder and dust kicked up by the bursting shells. GB itself is invisible in air. The howitzers were reloaded and fired as quickly as possible to put 6 more rounds on.
You really only needed 1.
Yeah.
Within 15 seconds, 75 pounds of GB had been dispersed. These scenes were filmed simultaneously by remote control cameras in each separate location.
This is a warning again. This is very distressing.
Yes.
It's fucking horrific.
Either pause it and wait 30 seconds and like
or just you know,
don't
go to bed.
Yeah, either way,
to conserve the running time of the film. The animals in the machine gun position were the first to be affected. Although protected from blast and shell fragments, by the time the smoke and dust had cleared away, the pigeon in the foreground was dead from the effects of the nerve gas.
Already.
He called it
Less
gas.
than 40 seconds had elapsed. The pigeon in the 2-man foxhole also has died.
There's one,
in
it's
less
like
than 40
the
seconds.
thumbnail is literally it's like a
the rabbit and
like a chemistry like bottle, like you know the potion bottle looking things. Yes. They got the like fluke at the top, and it says GB on it. And that one is like specifically he actually puts it on the exposed skin of a rabbit, showing its effect, talking about it being a liquid, and then he gives the rabbit atropine to show how it can still recover from the GB. And that's there's a lot of stuff I have in there on the sarin.
So there was like a vial that it was open, just sitting there.
Yeah, it's like a whole. No, it's like you know what potions look like in games.
Yes, okay.
So if you look at the sarin playlist, that's the thumbnail. It says GB and it's got a whole potion thing.
Okay.
There's a lot I got a lot of stuff. Basically everything the United States has ever done about it, I have.
Yeah. So, but either way, right? It can't possibly be a gas. You can't have gas inside shells. They're not airtight.
Mm-hmm.
right? It is, as he said, the impact vaporizes it.
I don't
So
think he said that.
No, but the impact generates the dust and shit, right? The explosion vaporizes it. We read it in the document that he gave us, right? It said that the GB sarin is vaporized from the shell or from an internal
it's
explosive.
gaseous.
Yeah. So it's still vapor. It's vapor still.
Both showed symptoms in less than a minute and were dead in less than 4 minutes. The sampling equipment in each position measures the concentration of GB that penetrates the fortification. The animals in the hasty bunker began to react to the GB in less than 2 minutes and were
It's literally
dead
like
within
standing in
3
its own
minutes.
filth, too.
Pretty much.
The goat in the machine gun position has now expired. It is less than 3 minutes since the shells landed. The effects of the nerve gas on the 2 goats in the command post bunker were evident in less than 2 minutes.
Look, we warned you. We gave you ample warning. This was the last video.
This isn't even one of the worst ones.
Yeah, this is not even bad.
I mean, it's
Fortified
still bad,
positions of this kind are so sturdy that anything less than direct hits with high explosive shells from...
So these ones are literally the fortified concrete bunkers.
Yeah, so the whole argument is that this, like, the explosive shells are like, you have to use precision shells to hit these bunkers and command posts. But instead, if you just lay GB down, everyone dies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can go in right after. It's just like how they have the nuclear operators, right, that they train, where they would operate after nuclear blasts in that fucking blast zone.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad job.
Oftentimes they rode horses because the radiation would kill the machines. This is this one is a fortified concrete bunker. So it may not be airtight because you have to get oxygen in, right?
Yes. And that's what the initial part of the video was, just explaining where these positions were and what where they were. So the machine guns, the fortified bunker, which is this one, I think the command post, and then there was another one. I think there was
and they have I believe a pigeon above them too. A pigeon or a rabbit above
probably
them.
Would fail to cause any casualties. None of the test animals were killed or even injured by blast or shell fragments. All the animals were killed by the toxic chemical within 4 minutes after the GB shells landed in the target area.
It was 75 pounds of GB. You bet they were killed in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Recognized, of course, that with troops occupying hard targets such as these, GB casualties would be minimized if the men were properly masked before the toxic cloud enveloped them.
Properly masked.
These tests demonstrated how quickly
PPE.
lethal concentrations of GB nerve gas can penetrate
Called
hard targets and fortifications of the type that normally provide considerable protection from
the Rock is it's VX in the Rock. It's so funny because he puts the VX green globby jewel in the guy's mouth and shoots it, and it's like a corrosive agent, right? And I love they're disarming the teddy bear. They start spraying it with water, which is accurate actually. Like water is something that you can fight nerve agent with. Like if you look
there's a few media things that have had like nerve agent where they just wipe water
but
on it.
It looks like they're just spraying water, but actually it's neutralizer. So that's another thing that some smart guys will apply it to their conspiracy that they had neutralizer before the chemical attacks happened. How would they know? Oh, gee, I wonder, maybe because they were pretty obvious that Assad was going to drop the Sarin on them. And so we gave them the fucking units of neutralizer because Assad had used chemical weapons several times. But water will work if there's no neutralizer. I mean, you'll probably still die, but the big thing is get naked because it's on your clothes, right? So you get naked, and then you you get naked, get outside, get wet, basically. Get outside, probably number one, then naked. How painful is it? Okay, so let me kind of describe how
Okay,
you can
you keep
think
going with
about
this.
it.
I gotta go.
You know in Pokemon with Machoke, how he's literally flexing and his muscles are tearing apart.
See you later, guys.
So that's the issue, is that it doesn't let your muscles relax. So at each breath you take, it's paralyzing you. So it builds up. It's like flexing as hard as you can, and then it just continues to build and build and build and build and build until you asphyxiate yourself. And it can go through skin. Breathing in is the most likely vector, but if you get liquid agent on your skin, it will kill you if you don't have atropine. So yes, the compound is called acetylcholine. So basically, the way it works, you know how like fucking SSRI works and stuff. They just kind of like fill a hole in your chemical. So that's what they do, is they fill this hole, and it's the response to trigger like muscles and nerves and stuff like that. So they don't give the signal to release. So that's how it kills you. It paralyzes your heart, your lungs, everything. It's literally the worst way to die, for sure. I cannot think of a more agonizing thing to happen to somebody than to be hit with nerve agent. It's so fucked. Who developed this first? The Nazis. GB is developed by the Nazis. They were trying to find pesticides, and so they developed the G series. But VX, the more lethal perfective form, was done by the British, and then Russia has their own nerve agent program. And if we want to talk more about nerve agents, we'll do it on Friday. Because I have tons of stuff about nerve agents we can watch if people want to. Anyway, that's all for now. Love you. Goodbye.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?